Hi there, my name's Daphne. I'm one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thanks for sending in your essay for correction. Great to hear from you, and really good idea to get some feedback before your exam. Now, first thing here is that this essay is very long. I don't know how long it took you, but the essay question usually says write at least 250 words. We recommend you aim for around 350. If you can do that in 40 minutes, that gives you the chance to develop your writing. Going into 400 words has two problems. One, it may not take you may not have enough time. Two, you may make the examiner a bit cross because they have a lot of essays to mark. And actually, three, the danger is that you go off point. It's better to be able to write concisely and precisely. This is something that we look at on the course, managing to express yourself. So let's look at this. International marketing is sometimes seen as invasive and an intrusion into the country in question. Others argue it's a necessary and economical form of education, in addition to spreading ideas. Okay, it's a long, rather complicated structure. Essentially, we are talking about advertising. So it's not really talking about trade, which you've picked up on here. It's really talking about advertising. If you think of advertising which is inappropriate, so it may be unwelcome, it may not be the right kind of advertising for your country that you're in, it may be offensive. This is the idea behind this. So trading among countries has been going on since time immemorial, but it's viewed by some citizens as territorial expansion, while others regard it as a way of knowledge and cultural exchange among nations. So I love what you're doing with that paraphrasing, but you need to really get immediately onto this topic of marketing, okay? So I would go instead, global marketing has been a key feature of the past 20 years, for example, viewed by some as, so instead of that, I would go unwelcome or inappropriate. Yeah. While others view it as cultural exchange. Yes, okay, so that might be all right. So you really need to get this idea of global advertising of products right at the beginning. Then the examiner knows, yep, okay, you've understood the question. What we recommend you do here, so you've paraphrased, you've shown you understand it, you then need to give your opinion, because this is an opinion essay, so it should go here and in your conclusion. And then you need to introduce the essay, this essay. We'll discuss some of these key themes using examples from. And so you do need to include some examples as well. So that's what your intro should be looking like. So there's several reasons why some nationalities retaliate when corporations owned by other nationalities are established in their homeland. You can see the problem here. Immediately, you are not on the right topic. Okay? So the danger is, obviously, by being off topic, you can't score a band 7 because you would not score the marks on task achievement, because it would be seen that you haven't answered the right question. And this is a little bit brutal, you might feel, but this is the way the examiner works. So fundamentally, racial differences contribute to this assertion, which is only natural from a biological standpoint. Even siblings have differences from each other. So you can see what's happened here. You've gone very, very off point here. So originally you were talking about trading here. Now you're talking about retaliation, which is very, very strong. These words here, invasive and an intrusion, doesn't mean you are physically going into another country. It just means that it might be unwelcome. If you think of Zara clothing advertising the kind of style which your country doesn't like. So you've gone very, very strong here. Another reason is the inequality citizens observe in terms of employment and land ownership. Companies that are put up in a country have this tendency of employing skilled workers overseas instead of hiring their residents. Okay, I wouldn't say that are put up. Companies newly installed in a country, you could have that instead of put up's a little bit informal. Newly installed in the country have a tendency, this tendency is a little bit too informal, a tendency of employing skilled workers, okay? This scenario being witnessed by residents could evoke feelings of anger and envy as they're robbed of their basic rights as natural-born citizens. Such feelings are only acceptable for it's the country's people that had established and had supported its government since the beginning of time. I would say citizens instead of people here that have, you could say not only established but supported. Would add a little nice bit of grammar in there. Not but supported its government. Okay, so I changed that word there. In addition, foreigners only vast amounts of land. Okay, so it's really sad, this, because your writing is extremely competent, but you're not answering the question. It's very common in this, don't worry, it's a difficult title. It'd be great to see you doing some more essays, and I can really see what your writing's like when you're on track, on the right question, and because it's difficult for me to evaluate because of this problem. Also in your paragraph structure, so there's the issue of the task achievement. In a coherence, what you need to do is to have a strong topic sentence, then develop your topic sentence sufficiently. What's happening here is that you've got a lot of quite interesting points to make, but you're making too many points without developing them. You're making too many points without developing them. So you need to be developing them more fully. And then near the end of the paragraph, you ought to be adding an example that refers back to the points you've already been making here. Okay, so there's too much going on in that paragraph there, and that's why the essay's got so long. In contrast, not all citizens consider international marketing an invasion and intrusion, so you don't want to use the same words as the examiner, you want to have your own words here. But regardless of form, okay, yeah, ideas and perspectives of other nations can contribute in one way or another to a country's global success. Good. Here, put as, rather than making it a short sentence, as knowledge. So knowledge of each other's trading strategies may be learned and applied in conduct of business. Okay, which in turn, again, think of longer sentences, could lead to its economic success. Okay, so you're absolutely right, but we need to get this into international marketing, so marketing strategies or campaigns or advertisements seen on social media. So we want to be using this language of advertising. And you could use words that might be influential, it might be beneficial, it might be inspiring. People might see an advert for something Japanese and they might want to visit Japan. So absolutely, it could conduct the success. Another contribution of international marketing is the introduction of another language, of letting someone understand, careful on the grammar, and speak. So someone understand and speak another language besides his. As such, he'd have the opportunity to expand his horizons. Not only ideas and language would be shared or are shared, but also culture. So again, same thing is happening in this paragraph. You've got some lovely writing skills. I mean, there's very little I'm correcting on the grammar. You seem to have a lovely control of writing, which is great. But you need to be restructuring these paragraphs in a much more disciplined, strict way. So topic sentence, develop it, example, and look at it that way. So this is all stuff that Ben talks about on the course, which I think would be really useful. So in my book, definitely too informal. In conclusion, I believe that. And then you go back to these arguments. I'm for, I wouldn't say that. In my conclusion, I believe that international marketing offers many benefits as long as it does not approach inequality. We haven't really even talked about products here. So here you want to be talking about the products. So they could be inappropriate, yes, but they could be cheaper and they could be offering consumers choice. So I think there's a lot of things that you could be kind of mentioning. And further understanding this is the most significant. Okay, I don't think you need that final comment. I mean, there's a lot that I would cut because this is very long. So it would be great to have you on the course with us. I think you'd find that really useful. And if you are writing more IELTS essays to practice, aim for that 350. There's a lot of extra in here which you don't need. It's really important to be concise and precise, as I say. But well done, it's a super essay. There's lots of really positive things in here. So I hope you will continue practicing with us. Thank you.